Thousands of years ago, a man was hiding in a wine press, scared out of his mind, just trying to survive. And that man ended up becoming one of the greatest warriors in all of history. That man was Gideon, and his story might be the most relatable story in the entire Bible. Let me take you back. Israel was in a rough spot. The Midianites had been terrorizing them for 7 years, destroying crops, stealing livestock, leaving people with nothing. People were living in caves and hiding in mountains just to stay alive. The situation looked completely hopeless. And in the middle of all this chaos, God shows up to the most unlikely person. Not a general, not a king, not someone powerful or famous. He shows up to Gideon, who is literally hiding while threshing wheat, scared to be seen. And the angel says something wild. He calls Gideon a mighty warrior. Gideon did not feel like a mighty warrior. He pushed back immediately. He said his family was the weakest in the tribe, and he was the least in his family. Sound familiar? How many times have you talked yourself out of something because you felt too small, too unqualified, too broken? But God did not argue with his excuses. He just said, "I will be with you." That is the whole thing right there. God did not promise Gideon that the road would be easy. He did not promise that Gideon would feel confident. He just said, "I will be with you." And sometimes that is all you need to take the first step. Gideon still doubted. He asked for signs, not once, not twice, but multiple times. He put out a fleece and asked God to make it wet while the ground stayed dry. Then he asked God to reverse it the next night. And God, without frustration, without judgment, answered every single time. This tells you something powerful about the nature of God. He is patient with your doubts. He is not offended when you need reassurance. He meets you where you are, not where you think you should be. Then comes the part of the story that will absolutely blow your mind. Gideon finally agrees to lead. He gathers an army of 32,000 men to go up against Midian. And if you know anything about Midian, you know 32,000 still is not a lot. The Bible says the enemy was so many, they looked like locusts. And their camels were like the sand on the seashore. So Gideon is probably thinking, "Okay, God, this is scary, but at least we have a chance." Then God says something that makes no sense. He says, "You have too many men." God tells Gideon, if Israel wins with a big army, they will take the credit. They will say, "We saved ourselves." So God starts trimming the army down. First cut. God tells Gideon to announce, "If anyone is afraid, go home." And instantly, 22,000 men leave. Just like that. Now Gideon has 10,000 left. And I can imagine him standing there like, "Lord, are we still doing this?" And God says, "Still too many." So God gives Gideon this strange test at the water. He tells the men to drink. Some of them kneel down and put their face in the water. Others scoop it up with their hands and lap it. And God says, "The ones who drink with their hands, those are the ones." How many did that leave? 300. From 32,000 down to 300. This is the part where Gideon had every reason to quit. Every reason to say, "God, I cannot do this." Every reason to go back to the winepress and hide. But God does something so kind. He tells Gideon, "If you are still afraid, go down to the enemy camp and listen." So Gideon sneaks down at night with his servant, and he hears a Midianite talking about a dream. In the dream, a loaf of barley bread rolls into the camp and knocks a tent flat. And the other soldier says, "That can only mean one thing. God has given Gideon victory over us. Do you understand how crazy that is? Gideon is scared out of his mind, and the enemy is having nightmares about him. Gideon goes back to his men, and he says, "Get up. The Lord has given the Midianite camp into your hands." Now watch what God tells them to bring to the battlefield. Not swords. He gives them trumpets, empty jars, and torches. 300 men surround the camp in the dark. And on Gideon's signal, they blow the trumpets, smash the jars, and raise the torches. And they shout, "A sword for the Lord and for Gideon!" And the Midianites panic. They wake up, confused, terrified, and they start turning on each other. The camp collapses from the inside. God wins the battle with 300 men and some jars. And this is why Gideon's story hits so hard. Because the point was never that Gideon was fearless. The point was that God was faithful. Gideon started out hiding, anxious, feeling small, feeling like the least qualified person in the room. And God did not wait for him to become brave. God just kept saying, "I will be with you." So if you are in a season where you feel weak, where you feel behind, where you feel like you do not have what it takes, hear this. God does not need you to be the strongest. He just needs you to trust him with the next step. Because when God is with you, your weakness is not a disadvantage. It is the setup for his power.